Just a few questions, Mr. President.
Yes, gladly, Mr. President.
Thank you. Madam Sponsor, Section 3 of this bill defines relative as referring to a person within second civil degree of consanguinity or affinity, whether legitimate or illegitimate, full or half blood. What is the basis of this definition?
Mr. President, good gentleman mula sa Pampanga at Tarlac, dinesisyonan po ng Committee on Electoral Reforms na sa paghahanda ng committee report batay dun sa 7 panukala ng 8 sa ating mga senador sa ngayon ay magkasundo dun sa second degree of consanguinity and affinity. For one, ito po yung ipinayo ng Commission on Elections na pinaka-implementable o pinaka-enforceable na degree of consanguinity and affinity, Mr. President.
I ask this question, Madam Sponsor, Mr. President, because Section 3, Paragraph K of Republic Act Number 6713, or the Code of Conduct and Ethical Standards for Public Officials and Employees, define relatives as referring to any and all persons related to a public official or employee within the 4th civil degree of consanguinity or affinity, including bilas, inso, and balae. Why does the proposed measure depart from this definition, Madam Sponsor?
Mr. President, the good gentleman is right in his citation of the other law, but for purposes of this anti-dynasty law, as I said earlier, the committee report proposes to define relative up to the second degree. In spite of the fact also, Mr. President, na yung sariling bill nitong representasyon at nung isa pang author, si Senator Robin, ay nagpanukala ng ban hanggang sa 4th degree of consanguinity. Ito pong committee report ay isinasaalang-alang din yung mga inputs mula sa hearings at yung marathon consultations din na ginawa sa iba't ibang bahagi ng bansa. Itong degree of prohibition, yung second degree, ay magbibigay daan po sa mabisa at saka doable nga po na investigasyon o review ng mga kandidato. Dahil madali namang pong magiging available yung mga birth certificate, marriage certificates o di kaya certificates of no marriage. At dagdag pa po doon, Mr. President, may mga pag-aaral na nagpapakita na kahit daw po second degree dynasty ban ay mag-free up na po at mag-i-impact na sa 30% ng mga elective positions. Ito pong datos, in particular, bunga ng pag-aaral ng ASOG, Ateneo School of Government, Mr. President.
So, this bill, Madam Sponsor, Mr. President, will have the effect of amending the definition of relatives under Republic Act 6713.
Oh, we are not changing, Mr. President. Hindi po natin binabago ang definisyon ng relative sa ibang mga batas. Dahil gaya po ng nabanggit ko kanina, ang definisyon ng relative dito sa panukalang ito ay lamang para sa for purposes of this act, Mr. President.
Baka po kasi magkaroon ng problema, Madam Sponsor, na may dalawa tayong magkahiwalay na batas na merong dalawang interpretasyon kung ano ang ibig sabihin ng relatives. Yun lamang po kasi baka sa dako-dako roon ay makita natin na meron palang implikasyon ang dalawang batas na magkahiwalay ang pagkakaintindi doon sa terminong relative. Yun lang po ang aking gustong matingnan mabuti dyan.
Na-appreciate ko po, Mr. President, ang concern ng good gentleman mula sa Pampanga at Tarlac. Pero hindi ko po sineshare yung pag-aalala nila dahil po yung definition po ng relative sa panukalang ito ay para lamang dun sa scope ng prohibition tungkol sa political dynasties. Samantalang mas sumasaklaw yung dun sa sinight ng good gentleman dun po sa Code of Conduct for public officials. And pwede po tayong mag-introduce ng omnibus provision later on na sasabihin explicitly na itong definisyong ito ng relative ay hindi po nag-aamyenda sa ibang mga batas. Dahil particular lamang po ito sa purposes nitong act, Mr. President.
Totoo po yun, ngunit ang aking kinatatakot dito, itong mas malawak na kahulugan ng relative sa 6713, ang layunin niya ay para sa ganun yung aplikasyon ng batas ay mas malawak. Dito naman sa bill na ito, na kinukonsider po natin, gusto rin natin na yung sentido ng relative ay maging malawak din para sa ganun yung mga bawal na, yung kabawalan, mas malaki yung range niya. Hindi yung parang nakukonstrict natin. Para bang, maring sila sabihin nila, bakit masyado mo namang pinaliliit yung definition kung ang pag-uusapan ay yung pagtakbo sa ating halalan. Samantalang masigit yatang i-consider na palawakin mo dahil ang pinag-uusapan dito ay sino ba yung karapat-dapat lamang na ihalal. Hindi ko po sinasabi na mas mataas ang uri ng proposed bill kaysa dun sa isa, ngunit yung kanyang sentido po ay kinakailangang mag-apply. Kung halimbawa doon sa 6713, ay kinakailangang matukoy lahat o palawakin yung kakayahan ng batas para habulin yung dapat habulin. Parang dito naman sa ating proposed na batas, parang pinaliliit naman natin yung sitwasyon para yung batas naman ang mag-ooperate. Yun lang naman po ang aking tinitingnan. Mr. President, Madam Sponsor, sa Section 3 pa rin ng bill, paragraph D, dinefine po natin yung partnerships without the benefit of marriage as referring to common law relationships between two persons who cohabit, declare, or present themselves to the public as a couple without marriage. It shall include civil unions, unions without marriage under Articles 147 and 148 of the Family Code, and any other contractual agreements similar to marriages or civil unions. For purposes of this Act, parties in a partnership without the benefit of marriage shall be treated as spouses, as defined above. Madam Sponsor, what is the rationale of this provision and why was it included in the definitions?
The rationale of the prohibition, Mr. President, at kaya isinama po ito dito sa panukala ay dahil bukod po sa mga couples na mag-asawa, kasal sa simbahan o sa civil man, mayroong long-term years-long committed partnerships, nagko-cohabit sila, and therefore, yung usapin ng impluensya, bukod pa sa resources na maaring gamitin nilang mag-couple na nagko-cohabit sa isang matagal ng committed partnership, ay maaring mag-operate din bilang isang dynastic relationship.
May I,
Mr. President.
will the chair interject, no?
Yes, Mr. President.
You are practically answering a question I posed many years ago in 1995 because we were tackling already the anti-political dynasty in 1995 and Senator Orly Mercado was sponsoring it. And indeed, it was the second degree of consanguinity, the most practical. And then spouse, the son, daughter, or father, all right? But the question we posed noon, I posed the question is that what happens to the mistress? You know, because you are disenfranchising the wife and the relatives, but the mistress can run and take over the position. Yeah? And so actually the debate stopped there because Senator Gonzales, who was Neptali Gonzales, who was presiding, interjected when Senator Orly Mercado answered by saying, let's put it in the law. But Senator Gonzales said, you cannot legalize the illegal. And that was where we stopped. It has never been taken up until now. So perhaps this is your answer to that particular problem. No?
Perhaps, Mr.
you are
President.
incorporating the common law wife.
Yes,
Ano?
exactly,
Okay.
Mr.
Well,
President.
perhaps I can take off from this tomorrow during my interpellation. Anyway, go ahead.
Salamat, Mr. President. If I may
So
add,
I'm just
Mr.
giving the
President.
background on that
Opo.
particular reason.
Opo, maraming salamat po, Mr. President. And if I may, good gentleman, dagdag lang po dun sa paalala ni Mr. President. The bill really treats these partnerships as spouses to prevent the use of common law relationships as a loophole to circumvent the provision. Kung hindi po, yung mga nasa de facto relationships, pwede po nilang lusutan yung prohibition kahit na yung mga panganib ay nandoon and nandoon in the same way as for married couples. So, hindi po natin nililegalize iyon kasi wala naman sa panukalang ito ay nagli-legalize doon. Sinasabi lang po natin na nahuhulog din po siya sa scope ng prohibition, Mr. President. Good gentleman.
Mr. President, tama po yung inyong paghahalimbawa kanina. Paano po kung tatlo yung mistresses? Sana po dito sa chamber natin, Mr. President, wala naman pong ganun. Alam ko wala naman po yata. Hindi
Dahil
nga
lahat
po,
po sila
hindi po
mapupunta.
nalilegalize pero parang nai-encourage. Kasi po, Mr. President, paano po, sino po, sinabi natin cohabitation is one of them. Sino pong magdidetermine na merong cohabitation? Yung kapitbahay? Yung barangay kapitan? Kasi kahit na po sino, Mr. President, ikaw nagko-cohabit kayo. So, hindi sa ngayon, masasama siya sa prohibition, hindi ba? Pwede niyang sabihin ngayon para lang hindi makalaban sa barangay, halimbawa.
Tama po kayo, Mr.
Sino po
President.
ang magdidetermine
Yes po.
nung factual situation ng cohabitation? Yung korte po ba? Yung administrative agency? O yung mga partido, Mr. President, sa pamamagitan ng affidavit? Baka yung magnunotary mawalan po ng lisensya kapag yung po ininotaryo niya.
Basically, Mr. President, ang COMELEC po ang empowered sa panukala na mag-determine nito. Any evidence allowed by the rules of evidence of COMELEC in administrative cases may be used. Yung standard of proof ay dapat substantial evidence in accordance sa iba pang administrative proceedings before the COMELEC.
Nakalagay po ba
Mr.
sa panukalang batas sa cohabitation, Mr. President, 6 months, 1 year, 5 years, para lang masabi na cohabitation? Nakalagay po ba yun?
Wala pong nakalagay na period of cohabitation, Mr. President, para i-establish
Baka
yung
maging arbitrary
cohabitation
po
na
kung
yun.
wala. Dapat siguro, at least meron man lang period.
Yes, Mr. President, at the proper time, bukas po itong representasyon sa proposed amendment kaugnay niyan.
Meron pong nakalagay rito sa bill na presenting to the public na sila nga po. Na sila na nga, hindi po ba? Mr. President, what constitutes presenting to the public? Nagpo-post sila sa social media? O kaya pareho yung address nila? O merong testigo na magsasabi na they're presenting themselves to the public na sila po ay silang dalawa.
Mahalaga po, Mr. President, yung sinabi ng good gentleman na yung fact na pareho po ang kanilang address. So, ibig sabihin, cohabiting nga. And presenting to the public, nagpapakilala po sila, at nagpapakita po sila bilang isang couple. At meron po silang yung long-standing na or years-long committed partnership. So, lahat po nito ay mga katangian o mga tanda bilang presenting as a couple. They cohabit, present, declare themselves as a couple.
Meron pong kaiba yung sitwasyon yan, Madam Sponsor, Sir President. Paano kung sinabi naman ng isa, bakit kinakalat mong tayo? Hindi naman naging tayo sino po ngayon ang magdidetermine kung sino nagsasabi ng totoo? Pwede kasi siyang gumanti Ba't mo ko sinasama dyan? Hindi naman, kailan ba naman naging tayong dalawa? Hindi nga kita kilala. Sino-sino po ang mamamagitan ngayon, Mr. President?
Mr. President, ang mamamagitan po dyan ay ang COMELEC din po. Hindi ba yun sa section 8? Yes. Yes. And Mr. President, ang magiging gabay po sa paglinaw niyan ay nasa Section 8 na other grounds for cancellation of certificate of candidacy or nomination. Halimbawa, yung letter A, malicious or frivolous filings to trigger the anti-political dynasty prohibitions contained in this act. So, pinagbabawal din po yung ganyang mga pagsisinungaling tungkol sa sino mang nagpa-file ng certificate of candidacy, Mr. President.
Kaya po kasi ako nagbibilabor dito sa isyong ito, Mr. President, Madam Sponsor. Talaga pong kanina, ipinahayag ko naman medyo may pangamba po ako doon sa definition nga ng partnerships. Kasi po, doon sa Section 3, paragraph D, nakasulat naman yung parties in a partnership without the benefit of marriage shall be treated as spouses. So, Mr. President, by treating the parties to such partnerships as spouses, it gives the impression or a semblance of legality by including them in the definition. Yun po yung medyo problematic para sa akin.
Susubukan ko po, Mr. President, i-reassure yung good gentleman na hindi po natin nililegalize ang anumang hindi legal ngayon. Nothing in the bill legalizes those. Sinasabi lang po na sako po siya ng scope of prohibition. So, nag-i-impose nga po ng disqualifications at saka limitations. Hindi po nag-grant ng anumang favors. In fact, sa totoo lang, napipinalize po sila kasi nga po, nahuhulog po sila sa loob ng scope of prohibition.
Tama po yun. Maintindihan ko po yun. Ang sinasabi ko, kahit kailan po, hindi talaga malilegalize. Kaya lang the semblance or the impression na parang sila na mag-asawa because it was precisely included in the definition na they are treated as spouses. Kahit
Mr.
paano
President.
po, makikita nang dahil nga naging definition sila na parang spouse, wittingly or unwittingly, nagiging ganun po yung pananaw. Pati yung mga bata, maaaring masabi nila, mga bata pa lang, mag-asawa pala. Trato pa lang, mag-asawa pala yan. Yan, nag-aaway siguro dahil sa politika, pero sa mata natin, dahil nakadefine sa batas, parang mag-asawa sila.
I understand, Mr. President, yung concern ng good gentleman. I-reiterate ko lang po na treated as quote-unquote spouse only for this act and only for triggering the prohibition. So kumbaga, Mr. President, for practicality's sake lamang po, para kapag nagre-refer ang batas sa spouse, quote-unquote, it should include spouses, quote-unquote, without the benefit of marriage. And at the proper time, Mr. President, pwede pong tumanggap ng proposed amendment ang representasyong ito para gawing mas maingat pa yung wording, yung text ng panukala para matugunan yung apprehension ng good gentleman. Mr.
Salamat
President.
po, Mr. President. Sa ngayon pa lang ay minumungkahi ko na baka makalimutan ko po sa tamang panahon na alisin na lang po natin yung phrase na yun doon sa definition. Instead, ilagay na lang po natin at specify sa mga sitwasyon under Section 4. Baka mas katanggap-tanggap po yun. Sa akin naman po, yung opinion lang muna ito sa ngayon, Mr. President, Madam Sponsor.
Very well noted, Mr. President. Pag-aaralan po ng representasyong ito para handang magbigay ng tugon sa period of amendments, Mr. President.
Sa Section 14 po ng measure, Mr. President, in-enumerate po ninyo yung mga punishable acts. Ang sabi po natin dito, Mr. President, itong punishable acts na to, which shall be punished in accordance with the provisions of the Omnibus Election Code. Which provisions under the Omnibus Election Code will apply as to paragraphs D, F, and G of Section 14?
Aling sections ng OEC sa DFNG. We are getting the specific provisions of the Omnibus Election Code, Mr. President.
Yun po munang paragraph D, Madam
Yes.
Sponsor, ay ito pong nakalagay, malicious or frivolous filings to trigger the anti-political dynasty prohibitions contained in this act. Yun naman pong letter F, resigning as elective office for the purpose of enabling a spouse or relative to assume or seek such position in contravention of this act. At yung G, any other willful act to allow the existence or perpetuation of political dynasty relationships as provided under Section 3B of this act. Ang tanong lamang po, ano pong provision ng Omnibus Election Code ang mag-a-apply dito sa tatlong talata, itong tatlong provisions po na binanggit natin?
Okay, thank you. Yes, Mr. President, and dito na po yung relevant provisions sa Omnibus Election Code. Doon po sa one by one relating to each of these, the F and G or lahat relating to all three. Ang meron pong tatlong provision sa Omnibus Election Code na nagre-relate dito sa letters D, F, and G sa Section 14 ng Panukala, Mr. President. Una po yung Section 263 ng Omnibus Election Code, Persons Criminally Liable, na nakasulat doon, the principals, accomplices, and accessories as defined in the revised penal code shall be criminally liable for election offenses. If the one responsible be a political party or an entity, its president or head, the officials and employees of the same, performing duties connected with the offense committed, and its members who may be principals, accomplices, or accessories shall be liable, in addition to the liability of such party or entity. Pangalawa po, Mr. President, Section 264 ng Omnibus Election Code, penalties. Any person found guilty of any election offense under this code shall be punished with imprisonment of not less than 1 year, but not more than 6 years, and shall not be subject to probation. In addition, the guilty party shall be sentenced to suffer disqualification, to hold public office, and deprivation of the right of suffrage. If he is a foreigner, he shall be sentenced to deportation, which shall be enforced after the prison term has been served. Any political party found guilty shall be sentenced to pay a fine of not less than 10,000 pesos, which shall be imposed upon such party after criminal action has been instituted, in which their corresponding officials have been found guilty. In case of prisoner or prisoners illegally released from any penitentiary or jail during the prohibited period as provided in Section 261, paragraph N of this code, the Director of Prisons, Provincial Warden, Keeper of the Jail or Prison, or persons who are required by law to keep said prisoner in their custody shall, if convicted by a competent court, be sentenced to suffer the penalty of prisión mayor in its maximum period if the prisoner or prisoners so illegally released commit any act of intimidation, terrorism, or interference in the election. Any person found guilty of the offense of failure to register or failure to vote shall, upon conviction, be fined 100 pesos. In addition, he shall suffer disqualification to run for public office in the next succeeding election following his conviction, or be appointed to a public office for a period of 1 year following his conviction. And lastly, Mr. President, Section 265, prosecution. The Commission shall, through its duly authorized legal officers, have the power, concurrent with the other prosecuting arms of the government, to conduct preliminary investigation of all election offenses punishable under this code and to prosecute the same. In sum, Mr. President, the penalties for election offenses under the Omnibus Election Code will also apply to the offenses under our bill, Mr. President.
Mr. President, I took note of those provisions. These are all encompassed under sections 263 and 264 of the Omnibus Election Code. But I also note, Mr. President, that these offenses only apply as defined under the Election Code. To my mind, Mr. President, the Election Code does not yet cover the prohibition on political dynasty relationships. That's the problem there.
Mr. President, ina-aver po nitong representasyong ito na we can add to election offenses at ito nga po yung isang layunin ng panukalang ito.
Gusto ko pong makita yan sa mga susunod nating pag-uusap tungkol dito by way of, let's say, amendments para lang po maging malinaw na talagang itong mga sinasabi nating prohibited acts, swak na talagang merong katapat na parusa na hindi sila makakaiwas.